For some of you, if you need a hard copy, and feel free to grab some. Actually, someone emailed me to ask.
I already have it.
Anyone have? You have a copy already? First of all, not all the pages are going to be useful because you're not going to do all the details. Because, for example, the interior, you're not going to do anything, right? Lighting features. So I think the useful pages maybe some of the floor plan and elevation side plan, right? Today we're gonna, this is gonna be our last topic, the mass. So you won't have any assignment on this, and unlike last couple of years, you always have assignment. But I think this because the schedule, right? And we have to be in a Thanksgiving week, so you just do a small exercise in class, then that's it, right? And so for this one, you probably see from the cover page, the math part is more like highly customized building or shapes, right? Highly customized. So to create something, also this will show you the power of Revit. And not only you can do a simple, straight, vertical, horizontal, all kind of stuff. You can also do a lot of those very sophisticated shape, and even hard to describe, right? I think in the past, it's almost impossible to create. Well, I won't say create. It's almost impossible to draw that, right? For example, someone design something. I think even hard to design because for the designer they have to first come up with some kind of how you're going to draw that, right? Unless you just use 3D solid model, use a mod, some kind of stuff. But with this technology advancement like the 3D design like Revit. There even have more power, actually more, the Dynamo is an add-on, it's a standalone, also an add-on Revit, and you can go further, right? Go further to design some very sophisticated detail design like this. So what does this mean? Suddenly the designer have a powerful weapon they can play with they never had before, right? And I worked on the design side for many years in the past. Design a lot of high-rise. So what I constrain, I want to design something like this in a high-rise, but I don't know how I can even draw that. So there is no way you can do something like this. But nowadays, those are. Create this in a couple of minutes. So what does that mean to the contractor, to the structural engineer? So of course, to build this is very sophisticated, right? And not only mention just design that. And for a structural engineer, probably take a longer time to calculate all the stuff. But of course, so at our society, we got a lot of variety of different buildings. Actually, if you pay attention to the new project around the world, and you can see after the rivet have those power, there's a lot of a very strange buildings showed up, right? A very sophisticated, hard to describe building showed up. I think that's because suddenly the designer have the power to do this. For contractors, it's not a bad thing because that means they earn more money, right? And so because there's sophistication. But for the structural engineer, probably is not something they like to do because their design fee probably slightly increase, but not a big But the effort they need to get significant. But at the same time, the design itself, even the structural design, I think you guys, while having to, go to college, not just to learn a couple of courses, I think you kind of open your mind is more important. Think about the possibility, the potential is more important than you just, learn how to create Excel spreadsheet. One thing is the trend in, at least, not only, think about the rivet or BIM, 3D model, virtual reality. In a broader sense, I think you probably heard more and more, right? The so-called artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence had been a buzzword back to 70s, right? Early 70s. People think, oh, if you watch some movie back to that time, there's some movie, like robots, just like human, back to that time. But this wave of artificial intelligence is real, right? It's real because as at that time the hardware really not there yet, but nowadays the hardware is really sophisticated. So what that means is, the design stuff really changed quite a lot. I'm not even sure, all the engineers are ready because the most advanced now, the technology, for example, they can design a building automatically. They can design something very sophisticated, hard to imagine by any human. For example, I think a couple of weeks ago, there's one article published in Nature. And typically, Nature will publish something like a science, but this article is more like engineering because what they did is a couple of engineers in UK, they decided, okay, they will use the artificial intelligence, the AI to design the wing of airplane, the wing of structure. So, and they, of course, they specify some rule, and then they let the computer, the AI, to choose, what's eventually the result. Of course, they put the goal is, strong enough, right? Very strong. At the same time, minimize the weight, right? Minimize the weight. So they set up some goal, and actually the artificial intelligence, the design software came up with two wing, and the internal structure is very similar, like the bone structure of the bird. The feather, the bone, right, of the bird. If you cut it through, you see the structure actually is very organic. It's not like we have the very rigid design. It's very organic. So the structure of the AI design, it just happened to be very similar, like the bird over many years evolution. So that's actually is a very powerful message, right? I think in the future time, we probably not just no longer say, here's how the things will be. Probably a lot of things will be printed. I don't think in that case anyone can build it like that because it's just like organic, the bone structure. So possibly in the future time, a lot of things are going to be printed, 3D printed. All right, but back to our today's topic. We try to have some enjoyment at last lecture of the class. So I will let you give a try. For example, usually at the end of this class, you can design a high-rise, right, or even fancier in 15, 20 minutes to get up a building like that, right? So, more good news. I think I just learned a couple of days ago, and actually Rivet have a called Rivet Live. You're a big fan of virtual reality. That's the good news because now, after you, for example, your either homework, your residential one or commercial one, after you're done, you just click on the Rivet Live, and actually your model will be put into a virtual reality world. So you can actually watch, and you can publish in like iOS, right? Then you can watch in Google Cardboard, and you can watch on your iPhone, etc. Right? So I can maybe next week after you come back from Thanksgiving, I can show you, give you a demo. And unfortunately, I think it's not free for university. So at this moment, I don't think we can teach that as part of a class. But hopefully in the future time, they will make that also available to university, so you guys can see. Actually, that's going to be quite fun, right? Because everything after you create the model, you just say, hey, and I want to see, experience, not only see, you go immersively experience. I can talk about, for example, 3 or 5 guys, enter the same model. You can talk about, okay, here's this the detail, and should looks like what, right? So, so keep in mind, the technology grow very fast. So I hope you all have open mind, right? Open mind. And all right, and let's start from the baby step, right? Before we can fly. Right? So mass is there's a lot of mass. For example, the dome we created a curtain wall a few weeks ago, right? It's a mass, but that's a predefined mass, right? And also there's a lot of simple mass blocks. And that's we don't need to spend much time on it, right? Today we're going to talk about in-place mass. That means highly customized, right? Highly customized. Some of the scenario you can think about, right? For example, someone want to develop a downtown, maybe let's assume, in Chicago, right? In the waterfront or Lincoln, right? So they want to say, okay, how our building looks like if we put it in existing, right? And then you can simply create for example, a mass model like this one, right? Very simple. Just draw some box, right? So you can study that, right? And other scenario, even mass function nowadays actually can go beyond just a simple box. You can have floor, curtain wall, you can have roof, etc. Everything just like a real building. All right. And so there's a couple steps before we move on to create a high-rise, right? This is the concept, right? A mass is a collection of multiple forms, or it could be a single form, right? For example, if your mass only contains one form, like solid form, that's just one, right? So that this one, is actually you have one solid form plus one void form, right? See, there's void and solid, so you have actually two forms. So this mass including two forms, right? So from this slide, I want you to remember is mass could be a collection of forms, right? More than just one form. And see, this way it actually contain, right, multiple forms. But no mass can contain only void form because void had to be exist within a solid form, right? Which means you cannot have a standalone void form. This is a way of by what? Form by extrusion, right? We already learned this in the past, right? When we do the beam pocket, etc. This one is actually formed by revolving, right? It's more interesting because now you suddenly have another way to create the form by revolving a profile around a center axis, right? So you create something like this one, right? This donut is created by revolving this circle around this axis, right? Then you got this donut shape. And you can also, move the profile, in this case is a circle, along a predefined path. This predefined path can be any shape. This is just one example, right? So when your profile travel along this path, you have a form by sweep, right? This form can be a solid like this one. Also can be a void, right? If you think about this is a channel in a concrete wall, this is going to be a void, right? And this is by form by sweep. And sometimes we may need to create some more sophisticated shape. So this one, and we call sweep blend. You can see from this picture, this shape is actually created by three profiles at a different section of this traveling path, actually blended into each other, right? For example, this one blended into a hexagon, this hexagon blended into a rectangle. So by blending their profile along the path, you create a very unique shape, right? Unique 3D object. So I think, this is a very powerful tool, right? And at least I think for human, just think about how this is going to look like is very, very difficult. Unless you have some kind of a super skill, right? And I won't rule out, some people might have some super skill, right? To immediately can think about the shape of this one. But I couldn't, right? Even I working on it for almost my life. So, but after you have this skill, you can create a lot of a very interesting shape, right? Very interesting shape. You probably hardly imagine. This one is another version of this one, right? This one, you can see, one thing I want to explain. This one, the example we have is only use three profiles. Of course, it doesn't limit your number of profiles. You can, if you have a more sophisticated shape, you can keep adding those sections, right? Profile section. This just going to show you three. Another way to create it, the blend, is called loft form, right? This one, very similar from the previous example. The difference is this one doesn't specify a linear path, right? Doesn't have a linear path, but instead, this one uses levels. It's more close to the building, right? If I draw a box on level 1, and draw another one level 2, draw another one level 3, So the blend will happen, all right, from low 1 to low 2 to low 3. And you don't need to draw a path, right, a linear path. So your shape, right, the final product will look like this one, right? So this is more like related to the high rise, right? We're going to create a high rise kind of using this method, right? This method. If you want to edit some existing, form you created, you can edit in X-ray mode, right? And there's a button called X-ray mode. If you select this one, say X-ray, so basically it will show you what's the original element when you create this, right? This donut. You can see profiles and accents, right? Then if you manipulate the shape of the profile, then you're going to have a different object. And of course, you can do more editing by dragging those edges, right? And you can see this is regular one, right? Hexagon, and then you can drag those, right? Some profiles, then you can change the hexagon to something like this one, right? Or something like that from a box like this, right? How you may be wondering how those shapes related to a building. Well, after you create a mass like this, you can turn that mass into a building by adding floor. For example, this one is adding floors, model floor automatically. And this one is adding a roof. This one adding a curtain wall, right? By adding floor, roof, and wall, you basically convert a mass into a building, right? Remember when I talked about wall, I said, well, in regular case, you couldn't draw a wall like this shape. All wall you draw have to be vertical or curved, but not going to tilt it, right? Not even mention you tilt it in several different directions, right? But in a mass, that's allow you to do that, right? If you have anything special wall like this, right, you can actually create using this type of techniques. All right. So last, and we're going to do a small exercise, right? I'll guide you through and how to create a, similar building like this one, right? This one. All right. So let's do just one by one. You can open your Rivet, right? I'll just from scratch close this one. We'll do that too, right? And to put it into a context, you can see this picture. This is one of the downtown area in Shanghai, right? And there's I think this building is original. I think about 20 years old. This one, yeah, this one, 20 years old. Was designed by a Chicago design firm. So this one probably 10 years old. This, right? And we're going to create something today more like this one, right? The 10 years old one. This one probably just 3 or 4 years old. And you can see this one even twisted, right? You see when it grows, it's actually twisted. So when you see those, you'll be wondering, okay, how they actually did that, right? Actually, today what I'll show you is not as really sophisticated, right? It's not really sophisticated. Okay. But let's starting from first step. Let's do by extrusion, right? So open your Rivet and start from architectural template. All right. And okay, well, we can go 3D view. You can turn your visibility of your 3D view to include your mass. Right? If you go to your mass, check the box so you can make them visible. And afterward, let's go to massing on the site and click on in-place mass. In-place mass is a highly customized, right? And click on in-place mass. Mass 1, mass 1. So just simply draw a box, all right? And first we create a form, right? Mass, remember, form are contained in the map, right? Mass contain forms. So we go to solid form, right? Automatically, you have a solid form. And you can drag this one, you can see, right? Or you drag this one, right? So this is one form. Let's create a void form, right? Let's go to click on the circle one, and you can, drag this corner if you like to. And we create this time. We create a void form, and you can see you have two choices now. When you draw a circle, one is the accurate create a void. Another one is create a cylinder, right? We use the cylinder one, right? And if you select this one is create a void, and you can select this one is cylinder, right? You can see now you create a cylinder, right? So see that? You want to raise that? Right, you can raise up, or you can down, right? Okay, this tell you, right? This mass 1 contains two forms. One is a solid form, of course. Another one is a void form, right? A void form. And you can also drag this, right? You can see, drag it in different direction. This way, right? So let's finish mass. So this is very typical example of by extrusion, right? And both solid and void, if we create by extrusion, right? Let's delete that. So go to second one by revolving, right? Revolving. And let's do that and create a donut. This has two elements. One is the profile, another one is the revolving axis, right? Revolving axis. So let's go to mass again, massing in place, mass 1. So let's first draw a line. This line actually going to serve as a revolving axis. You may wonder how the computer knows. Well, that's the rule, right? If you draw a single line, straight line, then you draw another profile, the computer will interpret this as I'm going to revolve my profile around this line, right? That's the rule, right? So let's draw a circle next to that, right? Afterward, click on modify, then you select this one and this one. and go to create a form, right? Don't finish mask, because before you do a mask, first you need to get the form done, right? Solid form. See that? You have a solid form, right? Of course, you can also drag them bigger, smaller, right? You can do even, for example, and do an X-ray, right? I said, you do an X-ray. You can see when you do X-ray, you can see actually a lot of original stuff, right? And for example, if you tilt it this way, okay, I'm not sure I can do that. All right, we'll do that. Okay. Oh my God, right? So probably not a good idea. All right. Yeah, you only have part of it now. Right, you can drag this. So you can, of course, adding edges if you like to. For example, you add an edge over here. And after you add an edge, you can actually drag the edge now, right? You can see you can drag this. Looks like, right? Different shape, right? But that give you idea about mass by revolving, right? Mass by revolving. Of course, you can continue to do something. You can maybe drag this blue dots to make things closer. Anyway, okay, you got this idea, right? Delete. Let's try. We'll combine these two, right? Because this is by sweep, right? This one by sweep blend. So this is a simple case of this one, right? Well, let's give it a try, right? Let's do this. Draw a line, then you draw a profile, right? Let's go to do that, right? And go to massing, in place mass, and let's do that, right? We draw one line, two line, three line, right? So let's draw the profile now. Before you can draw the profile, travel along this one, you have to add a dot over here called point element. The point element is a element to create this profile along the line, right? Click on that. So I think you can simply click on here, right? So afterward, and you can say, all right, and click this dot. You see there's a blue line showed up. This allows you to what? To draw a profile. Let's use a polygon, right? By default is hexagon. So you see the big blue, that's the surface you're going to draw. All right, I see, okay, I draw a hexagon. It's good enough. So this hexagon is actually perpendicular to the line, right? To the perpendicular line. So I go to modify. So what I'm going to do is I select all of them, right? The whole line and the circle and the polygon. I'm going to go to create a solid. You see what happened? They travel along the path. All right? Good? All right. Let's do a more sophisticated one, right? Let's do a more sophisticated one. We can maybe delete this one now. Okay, this time, yeah, we haven't chose finish mask. Okay, this time let's get a curve line using start and radius, right? To specify a path, a travel path. Let's add 3 dots, right? 2 on each end, the third one anywhere between, right? So this way we have 3 control section, right? So we're gonna draw a profile, different profile at each section. So then we're gonna blend them to form a surface shape like this one, right? Let's give it a try. So click on the first dot. Again, you have this working plan on that, right? Let's draw a circle. And you can see this big blue. Circle, right? Then let's go to click on the second one. And let's get a hexagon. All right. Let's go to click on modify, go to the third point. This time, let's go to get a square, right? We still click on the polygon. And instead, we change the side from 6 to 4. Well, if you want to try a triangle, that's fine. Let's give it 3. Right? Give it a triangle. All right, a triangle. Oh. All right, maybe that's okay, maybe. Okay, after that, I go to modify. So I'm gonna select all the 4 elements and say create solid 4. You see what happened is the blend, the transition, right, happened along the path. Oh, if you see from this angle, right, the shape actually is kind of even more funny. Oh, this looks like what? If you add 2 eye, right, look like owl, right? Face of owl. Or a cobra. All right. So then you can see, okay, this is the mass, right? This is the mass. So you got an idea, right? And to create some very specific shape, you can go something like this, right? Now let's get rid of this one. You can see cancel mask, or you can delete it, right? Now let's go back to our elevation plan. Let's create 2 more new levels. So I'm going to go to level 2, then do a copy, and 10 feet above, I do a paste. Not paste, just copy, right? Then do another copy, and to the 10 feet above. So now I have a level 1 to level 4, right? What happened is my level 4 and 3 and 4 now show up in my project box, and because it's just created one, right? So you go to View, Plan View, Floor Plan, View, Plan View, Floor Plan. Then you set level 3 and 4, so both say OK, highlight it. So now you can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Let's go to level 1. Level 1, let's do this, right? And we go to masking inside again. In place mask. We kind of like try to do something like this one, right? Similar like this one, right? We just create a couple of different shape. We let it blend across level, right? Across the level. And well, we first one gonna do level 1. So let's get a, well, if you want to do something funnier, right? Let's just do this. Let's use a circle, right? Instead of using box, right? Let's use a circle. So I'm gonna do 1 circle here, right? At level 1, so I go to my level 2. So I'm gonna do another circle, level 2, maybe a smaller one, a different position, right? You can see a slightly different position. Right? Then I go to my level 3. I couldn't see my level 1 or 2, right? And so what I can do is I can change my view depths, so I'm able to see them. View depths, view range, right? So I can see, want to see what, 20 feet below. Apply. So my third circle, I'm gonna draw maybe smaller, but somewhere here, right? Then I go to my 4th floor, and of course you know how to solve that problem, right? You go to your 1st floor, you go to change your view range again. This time maybe you want to say, okay, I want to see maybe -10. All right, so this one, I'm going to draw another one, maybe just here. And really the position doesn't really matter, right? Okay, let's go to our 3D view now. So you can see now we have all the four different, right? If you want to say, okay, I want to be, this one going to be smaller, maybe 18, right? That's totally fine. So let's just select the 4 and create a form solid. Oh, what looks like some strange form, right? So you say, okay, here's our mask. Say finish mask, right? So we finish mask. What exactly this looks like, right? It's something like this one, right? We can put a shade on. As I said, this is just like a geometry, right? How we actually relate this one as a building. So we can simply do this. We can click on that and go to mask floor. See, that's a mask floor. And click on the mask floor. So we say, okay, we want to create floor on level 1, 2, 3, 4 within this mask. So then you have 4 floors. You see the purple one? Right? The purple one is your floor. All right? Did I forget one maybe? Sure, it's the mask floor. Yeah, I do have, okay. The 4th floor probably is above, yeah, it's probably above that mask. So unless if I drag this one higher, probably I can see 4th floor. Yes, right? See? If I drag this a little bit higher, I get more stuff, right? So from here, you can do is, right, well, let's make the as a curtain, all right? So we can go to Imagine site and say a curtain system, and other site, they create curtain. See that? And of course, you can also create a curtain system on this side. Go here. All right. So now we have a building, right? What about the roof, right? You can also go to roof, create roof, right? Then you have a very interesting building, something like this one, right? If you go back to take a look, this one, right? By the same token, you pretty much, right, you can do a similar, right? I won't say this is exactly the same, but you can, and do a little more, right? And for example, if you use a tab key, you can see, right, until you see the mass. I use my tab key. Okay, that's probably good enough, right? Good enough. What else? Okay, we pretty much, get it. Right? We did this, we did that, right? And of course, if you say, okay, I want to turn one part into wall, but it's too late now. After you change the current system, it's hard to change again. Before you, if you said I want to put a masonry wall on this side, and before you do the curtain, you can also convert that part into a masonry wall. All right. All right. Let's go to create a high-rise. Right. Let's delete this one. Well, high-rise, you can see even from the simple one, your high-rise is really not a huge different, right? Not a huge different. It's just the way, maybe a lot of time when you see a building like those, you think about, okay, how sophisticated it is. But in reality, it's probably much simpler than you saw, right? Much simpler than you saw. We, for example, for this building, right, you can see this is a very elegant building. I think it's designed by SOM. I'm not sure it's the same. No, this one is designed by SOM. This one, I forgot. HOK. I think it's a HOK, probably in Kansas City. Yeah, I think that probably. This one we'll take a look, right? You see it's a very elegant and curved building. So actually, if you want really, we want to create one similar to this, is actually quite simple, right? Before we can start, we need to first create those floors, right? Let's assume, we have the 100 floor, right? Let's go to, you cannot make a copy anymore, right? We have to use array, right? Go to use array. How many? Let's see, we already have 4, right? We want to get a 97 more, right? And from this point, 10 feet. It's 97, confirm. So now, if we go to our top, what's our top floor? All right, 100. 100 floor. How we make the 100 floor show up on your project browser? You guys, do you remember that? Go to your view, go to your plan view, go to your floor plan, and select all of them from 5 all the way to 100. Say OK. Then you can see all the floor here, right? And you can see from 1 all the way to 100, right? Okay, let's click on level 1. This building look like this, but actually the base is a square, right? Is a square. Let's just use that. We assume let's design a 90 by 90 square, right? On level 1, so go to mass and site, and go to in place mass, and it's called mass 1. That's fine. So go to first, draw a square, 90 by 90. All right, 90 by 90 square. Okay. And if you recall what we did here, all right, what we did here, right? We draw the first one, 90 by 90. Then let's move on to the 33rd floor. 33rd floor. Of course, we couldn't see where's my first floor, right? How are you going to see that? You can change your view range, but this time when you have 100 floor, I think the view range is going to be quite deep, right? So instead, we can use underlay. So let's go to underlay. See there, underlay, and use level 1 as underlay. So we don't have to specify, several hundred feet deep view range. So we can use underlay, so we can see now, right? What I'm going to do is we're going to draw a line from 1/3 of the position, right? 30, we draw a 45-degree line, right? Okay. Then we do the same thing here, right? You can see that's going to be a 30 line, right? And because you already have this, right, 45-degree line second, right? Then we draw the other side. Right? The other side means here, here, here. So after you're done, we should have a diamond shape. This one, right? We should have a diamond shape 33rd floor. All right? Let's keep moving to 66th floor. 66th floor, again, we couldn't see that. Let's use underlay. Where's my underlay, right? Underlay should be what? 33, right? 33. Level 33. So we can see where that located, right? We see this diamond shape. Let's keep drawing another diamond. Go to line. So this time we pick the middle of this diamond. This middle line and go to this middle line. Right? Then we keep moving to here. Then we move to the middle here. Then we go to the middle. This one. Here. Here. Right? So now we have another one. Another one done. Right? Okay. Let's move to our maybe 99 or 100. Let's move to 100, right? So in a 100 level, so we do need an underlay of 66, right? 66. So we see the 66 diamond, right? Let's continue. And this one will make this diamond smaller. All right. Well, this is, well, if you want to create a little bit more, some effects, you can actually, let's see, let's off this, we can actually get this one a little bit recessed, right? Let's do a, let's assume we can get a 10 feet offset of this line right here, right here. So we do right here, right here. What actually we did is we actually going to create a little bit smaller top by doing this and this, and this, and this, this, and this, right? So we actually have a smaller diamond. Okay, don't forget to remove these two extra lines. So we have to make sure you extra line removed. All right, let's take a look at our 3D view. In our 3D view, if you zoom out enough, you should see those four diamond, actually 3 diamond, 1 square we created, right? Let's select all of them and go to create a solid form. All right, you see something? Actually, the curve is quite nice, right? The curve line is quite nice. All right? So, if you make this one smaller, of course, you're going to have, right, a little bit. Let's assume, you know, if you go to, let's see, 100. Right, and that's what you have, right? And it's the whole whole body. But let's go here, right? I want to select this mass form, right? This form. If I select the form, I go to Edit Profile, right? And then I go to my 100 level. Where's my? Oh, that's probably okay. I just maybe good enough. So at this point, you can say and finish mass, right? Finish mass. If you go to your 100 level. Let's create a couple of reference plan, right? Let's go to reference plan. And I go to create reference plan. I actually want to create a reference plan, maybe a little bit. Let's assume, you know, 6 feet offset. I want to create reference about 6 feet from this edge, right? Then another one is from here, right? So now I have 2 reference plans. What I want to do is I like to create a void, right? Void form. So you can cut it through big mark, right? So what I can do is I go to my 3D view and choose my edit in place, right? So edit in place. Now if I go to my low 100, so I first want to go to set, right? And of course, you want to show, then you go to set. I want to pick a plan to set my working plan. Let's assume we're going to go pick this one first. So I want to show. Okay, this is the working plan. I'm going to draw a hole. Right? I'm going to draw a hole here. On this plan. All right. So I'm going to draw another hole and go to the other side, right? And so I go to set again. And this time I'm going to set on this one, right? I go to set. I pick a plan. This time I'm going to pick this one and in 3D view. All right. So this one, I'm going to draw another hole. Right? So after I get this two done, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the two shape, one, Control key, two. So I could say I'm going to create a void form. You see the cutting through this building, right? Afterward, I can say, right, I'm done with my mask. So you have a building like this one right now. And now the next step, you select the whole thing and go to mask floor. And you select from level 1 all the way down, hold your shift key to 100. Say OK. You see you have a, what? You have a very tall building, right? And afterward, the rest of the step is pretty straightforward, just like I showed you a moment ago, right? You adding by go to adding, let's see, curtain, right? And you can go to curtain system. And let's go here, go here, go here, right? Then you go to create. I think what I did is probably the drag caused the issue. Probably should go down. Yeah, probably shouldn't drag too much. Let's see if we can solve the problem now, right? Yeah, still have an issue. But anyway, you got the idea, right? And try to avoid that. Don't drag that afterward, right? So by doing this, you can also select, for example, wall. If you said, okay, this is not going to be a curtain, instead it's going to be a wall. So you can say, okay, I want to be a brick on CMU, or all right, or just like 4-inch bricks. Right, you can see immediately you got something, right? If you zoom a little bit bigger, you can probably shade it and go to font. And probably you can see Yeah, I can see it's gonna be really, really zoomed really big, right? Because your break is so small. How about that? You guys got an idea? Good enough? All right. See, you can create something like this, right? Within half hour to say, right? All right, I think that's the class for today. If you would like to stay a little longer and talk to me, feel free to do that. Otherwise, feel free to go. You can go home, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Yeah, you gotta select all of them. Yeah. And create create a solid. And I think you must have some element not fully, so all have extra line. You can see now, right? You can see extra line. That's right. I don't know, it might not be totally close to this. This one. Still have it. Yeah, when you do that, I think better to just use this one. Whenever you see something, you can be seen. So, then you can go to cut the whole thing. In order to cut a hole, you need to have a reference line, right? Then you drill 2 holes on each.